And I'm welcoming Kaya Handley back into the studio. A little bit early for the news headlines because we're not actually going to do the news headlines right now. We're going to talk about Heywire, which is a competition program the ABC has been running for a number of years now, where for young people between the ages of 16 and 22 from rural and regional Australia, chance to tell their stories and share them with a wider audience. Kaya, welcome back in.
Thank you.
And we're not talking to you as Kaya the producer or Kaya the newsreader. We're talking to you as Kaya the former Heywire winner.
That's right.
So when did you enter Heywire?
I was the 2007 Canberra winner, but I had actually entered previously the year before and hadn't got in and was devastated. So tried again the following year and got in and got to go to the youth forum in Canberra, which is, you know, I didn't have to travel nearly as far as everyone else, but it was a wonderful experience and, yeah, just great. I highly recommend it.
Okay, what was your story about?
I wrote a story about my experiences. At the time, my family owned a coffee shop and we were in a rougher sort of area of... We're actually in Queanbeyan. Mm-hmm. So we had some really interesting people that came in every day, and I wrote about the moments that I shared with them, and that taking that 30 seconds out of your day to stop and have a chat to someone can really affect how you see people and your view on people in life. And these people in particular were people who didn't usually get given that 30 seconds. So that's what I wrote. Okay, that was my story.
And that got you into the Heywire Youth Issues Forum.
It did in Canberra, where it's just such a great place for the group of people. I was actually there for their 10th birthday, Heywire's 10th birthday, so we had a lot of alumni come back as well. So it was great to see where they had gone and what they had done. Like, Heywire is a real boost ground for intelligent rural youth and regional youth to get their issues out there and make a difference. And we did. We got to sit down and put our ideas to government officials, and they took them away, and some real changes have been made because of Heywire over the years. And
something that, I don't know how many people from Heywire have gone on to careers in the media, but you've shown it can be done. It can be done,
and a few have. Andrew Green, who people might know from ABC News 24, he was, I think, one of the first Heywire winners, and he's obviously gone on to do well. But it's not only in the media. People are running. There's one girl who runs like public speaking to get to mentor youth, to get them to speak out and to be everything that they can be. So there's a lot of branching points off where Heywire can take you.
Now we're going to do something that I have been told may not have ever been done on the ABC before right now, and that is we're going to have a Heywire winner interview a Heywire winner. Now, I don't know if this has been done, so let's welcome to the program Janet Brown, who was our Riverina District Heywire winner for Heywire 2010. Hello, Janet. Good to speak to you again.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. I'm going to hand you over to the capable hands of Kaya Handley and let a previous Heywire winner interview another previous Heywire winner.
This should be fun.
It should be fun. Janet, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about how you became interested in Heywire.
It was a competition I was aware of for a while. The thing that really got me in was that I'm currently completing a journalism degree, and I quite like writing, and we had just gone through a very tumultuous move, and I'd just been diagnosed with depression, and a lot of people suggested to me that it might be a good thing to do, and I found it was wonderfully cathartic.
So did you find it was easy to put your story together, because they are quite short? Did you put it together and just put your experiences and what you were going through on paper?
I did. I found it's funny, the one that ended up being submitted was sort of the third run around, because I first tried to do them and they ended up being quite heavy and depressing, and as soon as I tried to laugh about it, it sort of flowed quite easily, but I wound up going very, very overboard. They had to butcher my baby when it finally came to be put up.
That happens.
Yeah,
so you put in your entry, you wait by the phone, and finally it rings and find out you've won. What happens next in the process?
Someone very, very nice from the ABC comes around and records you speaking, performing essentially your piece.
Did you do that in the wonderful Wagga studios?
No, I didn't. The wonderful people came to my house.
Great.
I know.
We do have the budget for house calls here.
Great. I had to go in. I had to go into the studio.
Well, I live in Wagga, so
Yeah.
I don't think it was that far to go.
That's good.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun.
And you went to the Youth Forum. You obviously had to, coming from Canberra, you had to travel a lot further than me. I remember they did the lineup to, and we had to line up from who travelled the longest, and I would just put myself right down the end because I'd travelled 5 minutes and someone else had travelled for a week via plane, bus, car, who knows what else. So you got to Canberra, and how did you find the Youth Forum?
I found it wonderful. It's funny, I had some reservations when I first started up because I was 21 when I entered and 22 when I rocked up. So I sort of felt like I'd be at the tail end and I'd, be surrounded by a lot of people who are a lot younger and I wouldn't quite know how to talk to them. But they really throw you in all together, and you're surrounded by such a really wonderful cross-section of people that it's just... you meet people and you sort of sit there going, these people are going to go on to do amazing things, even if they're not. They've still got these wonderful stories to tell. You talk to some of these people and I got shivers.
Yeah, so
talking to some of them.
What was your issue that you focused on? We break up into groups and focus on an issue. So what particularly did you focus on during the conference?
I wound up on the environment. I sort of wanted to go for rural sustainability, but believe it or not, rural sustainability was the biggest group there was.
Yeah.
So I branched off and went to the environment.
So what were the type of issues that came out of your forum? Like, what were the main ones that 2010 focused on?
A lot of it was on rural sustainability.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really loved is that they developed the idea for basically an agricultural apprenticeship, which would be done with the help of participating farmers. So the idea was that you got cheap labour, you got the means for somebody else to pass on their skills, you were educating a new generation with what to do. Another really interesting measure was we had, I think our year was the first year that we'd had a sort of gay rights activist.
Great.
At all, which was, it was lovely. It was, you came away just feeling wonderful about the whole thing. So this particular person, they basically were trying to put up, it was sort of an anti-homophobic day, really. And it was really, sort of wonderful and positive. And what else did we have? We had a particular issue where we stopped and tried to talk about the impacts that mining was having on a lot of communities. There was a girl in my group who lived in Queensland, and their local community had they were trying to deal with a coal seam gas mining plant, and it wasn't working out very well. They just felt that they didn't really have anybody to talk to, and nobody was getting their voice heard. So we were talking about trying to fix that. We had a couple of girls who'd been refugees from Afghanistan, and they were talking about their experience of being a refugee, and the fact that they felt that they needed probably better things in place to help them adjust to a new country.
And I know that you had some wonderful mentors there. Stella Young is one of them that springs to mind. How important were these mentors in the whole Heywire process during that week Youth Forum?
Stella Young has completely changed my perception of how I view people in wheelchairs. Single-handedly, one speech, that was it.
She's pretty wonderful.
Oh, it's amazing.
So who were a few of the other mentors that you had working with you?
We had Rihanna Patrick, who is an Indigenous radio presenter. I think right now she's working up in the Torres Strait, but I'm not sure. She might have changed.
Yeah.
And she was wonderful. Ria's just this sort of happy, bubbly person, and you can tell her anything and she'll tell you anything back. And the wonderful thing I found, maybe it's because I'm a bit older, but you make these wonderful sort of networks as well, which is really, really good.
So how has Heywire changed your perspective on being a regional and rural youth, or the politics, or anything that was kind of touched on in the week forum?
I've always been very proud of where I come from, probably too much so to the point where I get a bit intolerant of people from the city, and that's not fair because that means you're going too far the other way.
Yeah.
But it actually gave me a lot of hope, because I'd like to keep an eye on rural issues, and you almost sort of want to despair sometimes because it just feels like there's all these insurmountable obstacles that you're never going to get over. It always feels like, everybody says, young people are leaving and jobs are drying up and nobody knows what we're going to do, and there's a drought, and then there's a silly government that bans live exports, and, it just feels like wave after wave after wave. And then you talk to these people and you realise that they're the new generation coming, and they're smart, they're capable. They're willing to be innovative. They know what they want. I found it really sort of life-affirming in a lot of ways. It made me want to... I've always wanted to wind up staying in rural and regional Australia, but it made me feel better about the whole thing.
Absolutely. So you would encourage anyone who is out there listening at the moment, they've got 3 weeks to get their entries in, you would encourage people to get on board?
Absolutely. It is probably one of the best things you will do. You will make friends for life. You'll meet amazing people. You'll walk away a changed person. It'll be wonderful. Janet,
thanks so much for joining us today. Good luck with your future endeavours.
Can I have a job?
I'll shoot your details through to Chris.
I'll give you points for being up front, Janet. Well done. There is a wonderful saying in broadcasting: if you don't ask, you don't get. Okay.
I've asked. Can I get?
We'll talk about that. Okay. We'll put it on the discussion paper. Good on you, Janet.
That's all right.
That's Janet Brown, our 2010 Riverina District Heywire winner. And now let's go to Kaya Handley. What year were you the winner again? You were
07.
2007
so,
Canberra District Heywire
Canberra District.
winner.
So, guys, if you want to get involved, go to the website. It's www.abc.net.au/Heywire. That's HEYWIRE. Competition closes on Monday, the 19th of September at 5 p.m. You can write a story, you can write a song and sing it and record it, you can put in a short film or a collection of photos, anything to tell your story about regional youth. Don't feel like you have to be. I remember sitting down and going, oh, but my dogs never saved me from a burning building. I don't have a wonderful story. It's everyday stories that make wonderful stories. So get involved.
Indeed. abc.net.au/Heywire. That's Heywire with an E. And whether it's a story, audio entry, a video entry, you can pop it in there. And the Heywire Annual Forum since 1998 has been up and running. And as you've heard